Now we are in the Totatoka space, and we have two artists presented here. The first one I'm going to talk about is No Won Hee. She's a painter, a South Korean painter, and she deals with political issues and relations of power. She's born in 1948. If we go over here, we have a totally different generation. It's a video artist from Afghanistan. His name is Aziz Hazara. He's from 1991, so a really young artist. He has made a film in his home native town, Kabul, in a US training compound. And it's these children playing war. And the compound is used to train Afghan youth to be soldiers. There's no acting here, the kids are just playing. But of course it has a very strong, powerful message. It's the sound of drones. And in sort of like, maybe in South Korea, the drones relate to fun, recording, play, but here it relates to war. So these two very different artists represent different ways of power relations, power structure, and abuse of power. Here we have a sound piece. The artist from Nigeria, a transference of sound, like street sounds, local sounds, that you can go and listen to in the streets of Busan. Switch of sounds, like you meet the sound from Africa, you meet the sound from Lagos, from this capital of 25 million people in the city of Busan. This is the Turkish artist Erkan Özkan, and he's from 1977. The film is from a small village in Syria called Kobani. And on the film you see a small mute boy explaining the consequences of war and his experiences of war. It's very simple, but it's very heartbreaking. Here we have a work, Voiceless, by Chang Min-soo, that deals with the ferry incidents and the loss of lives. So like deals with trauma, the movements, the sound. He works a lot with sound, the emotion of like a traumatic event. So it's kind of like a healing process, you could say. Very emotional piece. So here we are at the 40 Steps. The 40 Steps is a historical landmark, an important piece in Park Sol-may's story. The American Cultural Center, the arson in '82, the 40 Steps are sort of like very important elements and like places for Busan history and Korean history. Here we have soundworks, the soundworks that are done by the 11 musicians. It's played daily. So here we are in COEX's exhibition space. You see the sign already here. Charlie Echo Trastero. Trastero is like an underground postal service. This work is two fictive characters, a collective of two artists. They make contracts with each other to agree on the process of the work. So the process is very important. The agreement between the two artists are very important. We are in the old town in the space Chong, and it's a front store, a small front store shop. This is an installation by the Spanish artist based in Barcelona called Francesc Ruiz. Francesc is born in 1971, and let's enter. You can see the symbols here on the front. They show women, so like liberation, and symbols of lesbians. So in the shop you have all these posters, you have all these magazines, all cartoons, stories that that Francesc has developed from his research about gay and lesbian culture. We're in the Old Town and we have several works outside in public spaces. That's been one of the interesting things about the Old Town. Here we have Her Chami, the wall painting. So that's one work in public spaces, but her exhibition is this way. Now we are in Space Dot, another Totatoka space. We are inside at Her Chanmi's exhibition. She's a painter, she's based in Busan, she's from 1991, so a very young artist. And she likes going through the streets, looking at details, looking at small twigs, looking at weeds. In here, we have another artist. This is Wandi Ratana from Cambodia. And basically they are beautiful landscapes. They look like beautiful landscapes from Cambodia, but they represent something very horrible and document of history. Here we have a video of local people explaining the bomb ponds. We have Kim Hee-chon up here on the tower, which is like an image from the subway station where a woman was brutally killed. Then we have Ram Han over here on the fence of the National Bank. And around the corner of between the National Bank and the local history museum, we will see No One He's wall painting. So 3 different types of works in public spaces. 2 have a very political content that deals with like both human rights and power structures, and then we have Ram Han's very sort of like pop cultural light panels that you see like right here. So this is the former National Bank. Look at this little fish. This is a blowfish, and this relates to the story of Solano. So here we have 2 stories that interlink. We have Solano's story, which is represented by Ram Han, and then we have Kim Hee-chon, and No One He's works that relates to Park Solmay. You can see this is the National Bank. Here you can see Kim Hee-chon. And this, of course, this represents both violence against women. When we walk here around the corner, you will see 2 works. 2 works by No One He. And I think this is an amazing location, really good location, because here we have the former American Cultural Center. It both represents 2 stories, like the modern history of Busan, but it also represents all the colonial past. This one is from 1980. This one is from 2015. And now we go to the BNK, where we'll see the rest of Solano's. So here we are in BNK Cinema Cafe on the 4th floor. This floor is dedicated to 2 works by Kim Hee-chon. She's a Seoul-based artist, and she's born in 1979. And here we have the installation of her new work. It takes place in an underwater lab on an island just outside of Busan in the ocean. And you can see the beautiful animations she has done here. So she has actually developed her language quite a lot over the last 10 years. So here we are in the BNK Cinema Cafe on the 2nd floor. This is the chapter of Andres Felipe Solano. Behind me is Nathaniel Mellors, an English artist based in Los Angeles. He is born in 1974, and here you can see the remnants of a cannibalist table. When we move into this gallery here, we will see the South Korean artist Ram Han. We saw some works outside on the fence of the former National Bank, and she works a lot with Instagram. She takes images from the internet. She transforms them into these kind of like weird, dark, fairy tale-like stories and images.